the way that I felt about craft and life in general was, I don't give a what you think, you know? I don't care what you think about me. I had come from an environment with very little cheerleading going on. And so I created a sort of survival instinct, right, where I would cut people out, you know, and minimize opinions. And the way that I would do that is I had to believe that my opinion was greater than everybody else's opinion around me. Man, we got to get to the root of what the is going on here. You know, something wrong with you. You know, let's get well. I got arrested in Georgia for fighting with a cop, wound up in rehab, and didn't hear a damn thing about God, spirituality, personal growth, accountability. My whole, as soon as I got to rehab, was let me get back to this hustle. So I started writing a script in rehab. That's how mad I was. I wasn't listening to no therapy. I had been therapized my whole life that it felt like, you want me to focus on the problem? Well, how am I gonna hack this focusing on the problem thing? And how am I gonna find my way back to this fucking hustle so I can get back to my ego? Because really all I cared about was my ego. I didn't give a about getting well. Yeah. You know, it was all about get well for you, get well for the camera. I've experienced ego death. You can't run no more. I'm in Utah for 3 months. And while I'm in Utah, they take my cell phone from me. And if they didn't take my cell phone from me, I was never gonna be able to deal with what I needed to deal with. I had never known how to pray because I could never cultivate silence. I had no absence in my life. Every unforgiving minute was full of some scroll or some more like ego feed, constant, nonstop rotation of this ego thing and that ego thing and just constant fulfillment of like my own personal desires. And they took my phone from me. And just for that reason alone, I would urge anybody to go this route if you're in a situation like mine, just to get the phone out of your pocket. And what that gave me was time to like really assess what had been my operating systems, what had been like the motivational force in my life, which was always me. When do you become a man? When you get a driver's license? Like, what do we do? You're 16, we give you a driver's license. Okay, well, like, you get a job? Like, when do you become a man? You become a man when you become responsible for other people. And part of that is taking accountability. I grew up in a culture that told me going to war made you a man. Going to prison and coming back makes you a man. Making $1 million makes you a man, you know? And it doesn't. And you don't know it till you've done all these things and realize, damn, I'm still a little fucking boy. Yeah. Or been around people who've been there a bunch of times. Also, my definition of warrior has changed. You know, I didn't really know what that meant. And really, it's about bringing others back. It's just like dudes who've been where I've been or something similar, just know it gets better. It does. Like, it don't make no sense. It doesn't make no sense. It's irrational. It doesn't make any sense on paper that I could have joy in abundance in my life, that I could feel any kind of joy in my life after being what I've been. Rock bottom. Bottom isn't when you experience the worst moment of your life. Definitely. Bottom is when you change. It's about what you do with it once it happens. You know, I had no love in my life. I had no purpose in my life. My whole purpose, as you know, was just craft. It was just, I'm gonna be good at this thing, and that's all that I have. The only thing I care about in life is being a good actor. And that's such a vapid, shallow existence. And driving back from the beach, back to where I'm living, and I get out of my car and her bags are packed. She's on her way out. What feels like this is now I can't get no lower. I hear this like I can't call it. And it becomes like the most diplomatic breakup I ever had in my life. And I say, what can I do? And can I get you a car? And she goes, no, don't worry about it. Go get well. I don't know nothing like this relationship. I never have in my life. I never had, even my parents, even my father, you know, I never had what I got with her, which is to enter my life, to be with me, she had to take a loss. She had to like eat shit to be with me. To be with me, she had to re-enter being a part of my life, she had to take a hit. In ways that I've spoken about before, and in other ways too, probably, you know? What I know love to be is selfless, loving action. And I've never known anything as loving or as selflessly active as what this woman did for me in my life. She showed up for me at a time when, this is the first time I saw her. We had been estranged for like years because of my jealousy. She went and did a movie with another actor and I thought she was cheating on me. So then little boy shit, like nonsense. And we hadn't talked for 2 years when all this shit hit. And I wound up at this rehab, right, in Utah. And they do something called Family Week. And every week on a Sunday, everybody who's involved in the program has their family show up on these Skype calls. And everybody will show up in the same room. And week 1, no one shows up. For me, no one. They got the calls. I know they got the calls, but no one showed up. My mother, my father, no one showed up. Manager, friends, no one showed up. Week 2, same thing. So I'm sitting in this room, and even the person who's like therapizing me, she's starting to feel like this, she's empathizing with where I'm at. And there comes a point where Family Week comes around, I say to my therapist, like, I'm not gonna go. You know, like I don't want to subject myself to it. Like I'm on a path, and let me just stay here. Like I don't want to keep reminding myself of how the situation is. And she says, no, I think you should show up this week. And I show up thinking, all right, my mom's gonna be on there. My mom will be on. Mia is on the screen. And, like, you don't deserve that kind of shit. You know what I mean? You don't deserve that kind of shit. And she unmutes and she's like, hi, Shia. And it's like, she's prepping a movie. She ain't got no time for this, but she found time and she said, hi, Shia. And we just smiled. We had nothing else to say. But she saved my life, dog. Like, before the kid, before the job, before a laugh, before Bo, before a phone, before anything, was this woman's face. Sometimes that's all you need to offer a person who's in a situation like that, is like, just to be present. And she was present for me at a time when I didn't deserve to have nobody in my life. It's the first time I really understood love, because I didn't have nothing to give. And I was sitting there thinking like, well, I don't have nothing. It's not sexy to be with me. Don't you get it? Like, people out here accusing me of like putting makeup on my genitals and like shooting dogs and shit. And you're showing up for me like you're gonna be tied to this shit? It didn't make no sense. And love is irrational that way. You can't rationalize real love. It doesn't make any sense. The other examples that we've had of how to navigate something like this, which is to go after the woman or try to like win a court case or like get back into a movie or like get back on at all. My purpose, and I mean this with every fiber of my being, is to be instructive with my life so that I can be an advertisement, like a billboard for a principled way of living, and that this on the other side of being where I was is still sexy. It's still glittery. It's still fun. I found my smile on the other side of this shit. I learned how to laugh on the other side of this shit, like genuinely. Like, my life is incredible, dog. I'm so blessed. There's no cap in anything I just said to you. I got so much love in my life, so much joy in my life, fearlessness that I didn't have before, a calm, a serenity. My life is full, and it's not full of like the stuff that I was chasing before. I'm not here to like find my way back into nothing. Those people who don't get down with me, they probably never will, To say that I don't love the craft is not true, but it's secondary to this other thing I got going on, because this is all temporary. And I don't want to get too far into this route, but like, people may not forgive me, but I know that I have been forgiven. And I know that I am loved. And when you really know that in your fiber and on a cellular level, then what people think about you, like, God bless them. My aim in life, in totality, my whole purpose for existing in life was to be happy. And That's not my purpose anymore.
And now?
Yeah, my purpose now is to be useful. And so it doesn't make me useful to my wife to shame spiral on some shit like that. It makes me useful to my wife to show up for my wife and be stable for my wife when we take our kid to the children's hospital and she's tripping. And I happen to have a relationship with God that centers me at this point where I can be in an environment like that and be able to hold it down in that environment. So that's what my amends looks like today. When my wife is tripping and she looks at me like, what's gonna happen? Because my 3-month-old baby has a bump on her head that feels like something scary, you know, and we know now it wasn't. It was called a hemogenoma, which is really scary when you first catch that. You know, you feel like, oh man, this is, and my wife was tripping. And had this not all happened, I wouldn't have been able to show up for my wife and be stable in that environment and be able to look at her and really know what I was saying when I said, God loves us, you know, he's cheating in our favor. I think part of learning is dying. I think part of learning is you got to die a little bit, because what is learning? Learning is me giving up on my old ideas. Those ideas have to die for me to be open to some new shit. And so me learning how to be a better man, I had to die a little bit.